Hey everybody, so just a quick follow-up to my last MultiVersus video. That video has a lot more MultiVersus speculation, so if you haven't watched it, go check that out. But I figured I'd make this video just because the release date for Gizmo has changed. I know not everybody out there has like a Twitter account and follows MultiVersus on Twitter, so I figured I'd make this video for those of you who use this channel to stay up to date with MultiVersus stuff. So on Thursday, we got Gizmo announced for MultiVersus, and we were told he'd be releasing this coming Tuesday, September 6th. We were also told Gizmo and Stripe were separate characters, and just Gizmo would be releasing on Tuesday. Well, a day after that, @MultiVersus on Twitter made a follow-up video and said, "Looks like Gizmo is a bit camera shy. We're going to need a few more days to coerce him out of his box. He'll now be joining the roster on Thursday, 9/8, so September 8th. So Gizmo has been delayed 2 days, again until Thursday, September 8th now. Also, we got our first real look at Gizmo in-game, and we can talk a bit more about that in a second. First though, just wanted to give my thoughts on the delay. Frankly, I don't really care that Gizmo was delayed, mostly because he's only been delayed 2 days, and if they had just said initially he was releasing on Thursday instead of on Tuesday, I'd have been just as happy hearing that. I didn't really care what day next week he releases. Doesn't make a difference to me. I do have to point out, however, that Morty also got delayed, and that one was much more significant than just 2 days. And now we have Gizmo delayed. It's just a bit strange this keeps happening. Again, I'm not at all bothered by a 2-day delay in the least, but if this trend continues, I could see people getting a little annoyed with it. The game's in open beta, so not really a big deal that some of this stuff is getting delayed, and there's sometimes some weird hiccups in the road here. I know the devs are juggling a lot right now at the start of this game, but if a character is going to get delayed 24 hours after the release date was announced, maybe they should hold off announcing that release date just a bit until they're 100% sure that's when the character will release. I just hate to see MultiVersus lose trust with the fanbase if delays become a consistent thing with character releases. Now, had Gizmo stayed on schedule to release on Tuesday, he would have released 2 weeks after Morty's release. September 6th would have been 2 weeks after Morty. So it really does feel like our new characters releasing every 2 weeks theory might actually be true. That might be what the devs are shooting for. But if that pace is too hard to rigidly adhere to, I don't think fans will be mad if the devs give us later dates than exactly 2 weeks apart for characters. Trying to keep up an exact pace of every 2 weeks release schedule for characters and then having to keep delaying characters instead of having them on those exact 2 weeks apart dates might eventually get the fan base a bit annoyed with all the delays. So I guess I'd just say I hope the MultiVersus team is a little more cautious going forward with announcing these character release dates. Again, personally, I don't mind the delays. In fact, I think this every 2 weeks character release schedule would be ridiculously fast if that's what they're going for, but I'm sure there are some fans out there who will be annoyed by delays. Many fans might be trying to schedule their own free time around character release dates, taking like a day off from work or something to have time to try out a new fighter. And obviously if you do something like that and then have a character get delayed, that's pretty annoying. So yeah, maybe MultiVersus should just be a little bit more sure of this stuff before they promise dates. That way MultiVersus can remain in the good graces of all the fans. Well, like I said, my last video is really the one that has a lot of MultiVersus speculation. This video I basically just made to get that Gizmo is delayed message out there to everybody. But what would one of my videos be without some speculation? So let's get speculating. As always, quick disclaimer and spoiler warning, these videos are just for fun speculation videos. Everything I talk about is only a rumor, and I don't actually show any leaked or data mined things in my videos. Nor do I do any data mining myself. There is no proof of anything here. And we are just discussing rumors of alleged data mines and leaks that are already out there on the internet being talked about. Don't believe everything you hear. Rumors are just rumors. But conversely, spoiler warning in case any of these rumors or our own speculation does end up coming true in the end. Okay, so let's talk about this short little video we got of Gizmo in-game. He's just kind of shivering with fear in his Mogwai box with some kind of yellow aura around him. This could be a taunt or maybe, probably more likely, some kind of move where he hides in the box. And the yellow aura is some kind of shield perhaps. I've even seen some people speculating maybe Gizmo will somehow be in his box all the time while playing as him, though they did mention coercing him out of the box. But Mogwai can die from direct sunlight exposure, and of course not every stage is indoors or at night. So if he actually stayed in his box all the time while fighting, that would adhere really strictly with the Gremlins rules. And it is true, both his announcement reveal trailer and now this brief look at him have him in the box. So we'll just have to wait and see if he's always in the box or not. Personally, I'd rather forego the Mogwai rules and not have him always be in his box while fighting. I think there's more you can do with him if he comes out of the box. And I think most fans would be forgiving of portraying him out in the sunlight on some of these stages just to get him in the game. Maybe he could have some kind of sunlight meter and he'll have to retreat to his box every so often. However, that wouldn't make any sense on the indoor or at night stages. So yeah, I think the best option is just to throw out the no sunlight rule, as that would just be too restrictive to try to have him in the game. Just forget about that rule and have him play as if there's no sunlight hurting him. Someone asked, please tell me he sings, and MultiVersus responded, ... maybe ... So it seems like Gizmo will probably be singing as part of his moveset. We were speculating about the stuff in his reveal trailer, and one of those things was a keyboard. So Gizmo playing keyboard and singing for a move might be what we get. Also, a kind of out there theory, but I still thought it was a pretty cool idea. There was a tricycle and a saw blade in Gizmo's reveal trailer, both of which could seem like hints towards Jigsaw from the Saw movie franchise. I don't think these were actually hinting at that at all, but still, a saw blade and a tricycle is kind of spot on for the Saw movie series. Speaking of that saw blade, I mentioned how maybe Stripe will throw saw blades instead of having a chainsaw. Maybe he just has some kind of saw in his moveset that the rumors are talking about. Well, I totally forgot he does throw saw blades in the movie, and of course he does use his chainsaw, so I'm hopeful his moveset will actually involve both weapons. But who knows for sure, I just think it would be cool for him to do all the attacks he actually does in the movie. The rumor is Gizmo will cost 2,000 gold, supposedly, and will have one skin for 500 gleamium, though we don't know what that skin is. My guess would be the Rambo headband, but that is just a guess. Could be the Santa hat instead, though maybe they'd save that one for December or something like that. Tony even asked people what alt costumes they'd want to see for Gizmo. Personally, I like the idea of him having other Mogwai as skins or variants, but that's just something I'd like to see. Alright, so I guess the idea that Stripe might be done playtesting could be wrong. I think I talked about that in the last video. And right now, rumor is Rick seems to be the most finished character after Gizmo. But that is just speculation, of course, based on the rumors of the data mines. But either way, I should probably update my Season 1 character release prediction calendar here. Last time I had Rick all the way at the end releasing in November, right before the end of Season 1 on November 15th. However, I've now looked into it, and Season 6 of Rick and Morty will probably be done releasing new episodes by mid-November, unless they skip a week for whatever reason. So while obviously Rick didn't release in time for the season premiere, I do think having Rick release while the new season is still airing is probably a better idea to semi-cross promote that rather than having him show up after the season's done. So because of that, and because of the rumors that he's got the most going on in the code right now after Gizmo, we should probably move Rick up quite a bit. Maybe even swap him with Stripe here and have him be the character we're predicting after Gizmo. Now, it has been pointed out to me that Iron Giant, LeBron James, and Morty all released on Tuesdays, and had Gizmo not been delayed 2 days, he'd have released on a Tuesday as well. When I made this speculative prediction calendar, I had just counted about 2 weeks, but didn't line up the characters for Tuesday releases. But let's update that as well here. However, on that note, I will say this was never supposed to be an exact prediction calendar. Like, this is just about when I'm guessing when we'll see these character releases. So just a ballpark estimate of the timing, not exact strict dates I expect characters will release on. Okay, so here I switched it around. Also, I kept Wicked Witch of the West on Halloween, just because I think that's the perfect date to release her. Some people have asked me why I think Wicked Witch of the West is a better Halloween rep over Beetlejuice, since the Beetlejuice movie is much more of a horror, spooky themed movie, whereas The Wizard of Oz isn't exactly a Halloween movie at all. Well, basically, I just think the Wicked Witch, being a very classic, cliche witch archetype, makes her fit really well for Halloween. I mean, she's a green-skinned witch with a pointed hat that rides on a broom. That's like top 3 Halloween decorations right behind pumpkins and skeletons. I just think she fits really well showing up on Halloween, a bit better than Beetlejuice would for that reason. Also, I kept Stripe on Rick's old spot being the 14th instead of moving him to the 15th, which would be the Tuesday for that week, just because the season ends on the 15th, and I wouldn't want the changeover to Season 2 to be confusing with a character release happening that same day. But hey, who knows? Again, this is all totally speculative stuff, just potential ideas for when we might get the characters. Okay, well, not too much other new stuff for MultiVersus out there right now. Rumor is some data miners have looked into Gandalf a bit more. Still seems like he's either being scrapped or at least is put on hold with all the Lord of the Rings stuff. Probably because Embracer Group bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings IP. But rumor is data miners found Gandalf would have had both a Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White skin. He may also have had emotes labeled laugh, shock, smirk, surprised, celebration, and angry. His signature perk icons were also supposedly found by data miners, and they were called Eagle, Beam, and Charged Light. Speaking of Eagle, yes, Gandalf's Eagle move seems to have been repurposed for Morty's spaceship move. The Eagle is allegedly still in the files for Morty even. Also, some audio code names in Gandalf's moveset supposedly read Eagle, Shall Not Pass, Light Beam, Thundercloud, Thunder Sword, Uppercut, Swing, Firework. I really do hope we get to see Gandalf in MultiVersus one day. His moveset seems like it could have been really creative, and Gandalf's probably my most wanted character out of the rumored to be leaked and data mined fighters we've seen. Good news is, though, Embracer Group does seem to have a good relationship with WB, so hopefully a deal will be struck and Gandalf will one day show up in MultiVersus, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the end. Speaking of potentially scrapped or on hold characters, Godzilla is now in a similar boat to the Lord of the Rings stuff, with Legendary Entertainment possibly looking to leave WB, and rumors of Godzilla having the unused 02 codename, similar to Gandalf and Ninja having unused 01. But that aside, Godzilla's prototype allegedly had a weight of 75 in the game, which was actually less than Superman, Iron Giant, LeBron, Wonder Woman, and Garnet. Maybe the game originally had everyone much easier to ring out with a lighter weight or something before they made the whole game a lot heavier. I don't know, but I imagine Godzilla should have one of, if not the heaviest weight in the game. Alright, and then just one final thing. I read that a sequel to Space Jam almost happened a while back that was going to be called Skate Jam, and it would have featured Tony Hawk as the main character's celebrity athlete. That's a serious bummer to find out, as I'd have loved to see Skate Jam as a movie. And while I've learned to warm up to LeBron James as a character in MultiVersus, I'd have much rather gotten Michael Jordan or Tony Hawk as a playable character here. Honestly, Tony Hawk is one of the few real-life people I'd be fine getting in Super Smash Bros., just because the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games are such a big part of gaming history itself. Would have been cool to get him in a platform fighter with MultiVersus had Skate Jam been the sequel to Space Jam rather than what we got, Space Jam: A New Legacy with LeBron James, and getting LeBron James in the game instead. Oh well though. I got Tony Hawk behind me on the cover of that Nintendo Power right now. Anyway, that's everything I want to talk about in this video. Slight delay with Gizmo. He's showing up now on Thursday, September 8th. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's
Twitter, Patreon, Discord, Twitch.